Hey folks, IR3.IR3. Let's see. They give us a formula for slope. Remember, slope is change in y over change in x, rise over run. They gave us symbol m to be cool. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 is our formula. And then some problems they'll just give us 2 points, and they say, hey, find the slope between those 2 points. So rather than drawing a picture, which we could do, let's just use this formula. These are the numbers, for example, they didn't really label it. The example at the bottom of page 2. Okay, so here's my formula. So I like doing it. I write down the formula, and then I'll just say the y2 minus the y1. I like parentheses. The x2 minus the x1. And so this is my first point, point 1. Point number 1 consists of an x1 and a y1. The other point they give me I call point 2. It consists of an x2 and a y2. So you see I can just plug in everything really easily. y2 is 2. Minus y1, minus sign, y1 was 2. Okay? x2, negative 1, minus sign, x1, 4. Okay, so up top, that's 2 minus 2 all over negative 1 minus 4. 0 over, careful, negative 5. 0 over negative 5 is just 0. So the slope is equal to 0. So that means it's going to look something like that. It goes to the point 4, 2 over 4 up 2 dot back 1 up 2 dot. Oh, okay. So I could have drawn a picture, or I could have done the math. The math is easier. They're usually not going to be this easy where you get a slope of 0. Remember, 0 on top is allowed. 0 over any number is 0. You're not allowed to divide by 0. Dividing by 0 is called undefined. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Slope, sentence, increasing, decreasing. Okay, so just a little bit more. Let's just make one up. Y is equal to 0.05x plus 1.2. Let's say this is, we're trying to predict your GPA. Y is your GPA. X is the number of hours you study per week. Number hours study per week. Okay. So then, let's see. If I were to graph this, my y-intercept is the 1.2. So at 1.2, there's a dot. And then the slope is 0.05. So the y-intercept and the slope, 0.05. So the y-intercept of 1.2, and then a slope, positive, but just kind of mellow. It's just slightly going up like that. So what does this tell us? In this problem is you tell me how many hours you study per week, and I can kind of predict your GPA. So what does the y-intercept in the context of this problem actually mean? Oh, it's if you don't study, if the number of hours you study per week is 0. So sort of the default GPA is about a 1.2. Okay, so that's what the y-intercept means. Well, what does the slope of 0.05 mean? Well, it looks like the more I study, the more my GPA slowly increases. Well, at what rate? Oh, so for every extra 1 hour I study, my GPA should rise by about 0.05. So 0.05 increase in GPA for every hour studied, for every, let's say, hour studied. And then the y-intercept of 1.2, whoops, represents your GPA without studying, or studying 0 hours. Cool. Hope that made sense, folks.